Welcome to the Joyful House. Welcome to my playground number 13. If you are new here, my name is Cynthia with Cynthia's Joyful Creations. And one thing about being a joyful creator is things are always new and fresh. And sometimes you just got to change things up a little bit, but we'll get into that in a minute. As you can see, something is a little bit different with the playground. What's happening right now? I'm hijacking my own segment and making it a little bit new and different. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So this is the week of August, the 25th through the 31st. It's the last week of August for 2025. And are you ready to chase your fun this week? I know the week is already almost over, but a lot of things have happened this week, and we're going to talk about it in a minute. But first, let's see what Annie has for us for this week in Chasing Our Fun. It is titled, Try Asking for Help. Oh, something I'm not good at. But all of that's about to change. Each new day is open for change, and each new day is to be a better version of ourselves than the day before. So that's my thought, and that's my opinion, and that's my quote. Les Brown says, ask for help, not because you are weak, but because you want to remain strong. Well, when you put it like that, it makes it a little bit easier. So thank you, Les, for that quote. Annie says, one of my friends is trying to teach her two daughters resilience and perseverance. She wants to instill in them the I'm no quitter type of girl. I'm the no quitter type of grit that will serve them well their whole lives. And so the mantra they've adopted to that end goes like this. Let's just pretend that their last name is Smith. It really isn't, but we're just going to pretend. Smiths don't quit. We try again, we try a different way, and we ask for help. I love that she reminds them it's a good option to ask for help. Mostly because I know so many grown-ups who have a hard time with that. Why are we so reluctant to ask for help? As your self-proclaimed fun coach, Annie says, I want to remind you of something that we all seem to forget pretty easily. Everyone needs a coach from time to time. Everyone needs a teacher. Everyone needs a guide, especially when we're amateurs at something. When we want to learn or grow or get better at a skill or hobby, we need to ask someone for help who knows what they're doing. Annie says, when I played soccer in middle school, I had an awesome coach who I looked up to so much and who taught me all the intricacies of the game. I am no longer confused about what offside means. When I'm making a recipe I've never tried before, you better believe that I follow it step by step from my favorite cookbook. When I want to learn new methods of blending eyeshadow and makeup contouring and highlighting, it is straight to YouTube I go. Where did we get the idea so firmly implanted into our heads and our hearts that we should just know how to do new things and automatically be good at them? Somewhere along the way, we've internalized that it is weak to ask for help, that it's too vulnerable to need someone to show us the way, that we just have to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps and be the amazing with no training and practice. It's a pressure that we can release. That unfair and unrealistic expectation, it's got to go. It's not just okay to ask for help. It's a great way to learn. The added bonus is that you give someone else a chance to share something that they love and they practice, to showcase their strengths and invest those in you. Asking for help is a pathway to making great connections with others and discovering fun along the way. So, our Chase the Fun challenge this week is try asking for help. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes. Well, I don't believe in coincidences. I do believe that things happen for a reason. I do believe that everything that happens is part of God's plan. And even though God may not necessarily orchestrate something in our life, He has the ability and the authority to decide and determine whether something happens or not. And if He decides to let something happen, it's not because He's necessarily punishing us. Maybe He's disciplining us, but maybe He's opening up room for us to grow and become a better version of ourselves. Let me tell you what, my human nature, when I started first reading and proofing what our Chase the Fun was going to be about for this week, my human nature was like, tune out. Just shut it out. Don't even listen. Okay? But I do want to be a better version of myself. Not from day to day, not just from day to day, but from week to week, month to month, even year to year. And in order to do that, I have to be willing to sometimes look and think outside the box. Sometimes I have to be willing to swallow my pride. And sometimes I have to quit talking and just listen. And sometimes I need to just ask for help. That's not easy. I know. I get it. I like to just figure it out and then come in and show people things. I like to just tackle it and get it over and done with, or maybe even sometimes put it aside and act like that is not even going on and just move past it. But that's not the way to deal with it. So, there is definitely no coincidence that our Chase the Fun this week is about asking for help. You guys, several of you have made comments to me, and as you know, I've responded, right? I've been feeling the same way, but I wasn't sure how to get past it. Well, what is the question? I know that's what you're wanting to know. Well, when it comes to Welcome to My Playground, the fun we're chasing, you guys don't get that fun until the week after. And by then, I'm chasing a completely different fun. So we're not in sync. We're kind of disconnected. And I've been feeling that way too. And then when something happens during the week and I'm like, oh, I definitely want to share this, by the time you guys get it and even know it's happened, it's either a day or 2 or 3 or 4 days later, and it's not the same as in the moment. So how can I navigate through that? How can I keep us connected in the moment? When I chase my fun, I want you chasing the same fun. I don't want it to be something I've done and then you're doing it the next week while I'm chasing something else. I want us to chase the fun together. You know, when I started Welcome to My Playground, and as you can see, we're only in our 13th segment because this is number 13. It was about bringing in some of the things that go on behind the scenes in the Joyful House. Kind of a little like a virtual, digital video diary per se. It helps me remember things that happen because my memory's not the greatest, so I can always go back and rewatch these videos and be like, oh yeah, I remember when that happened, and well, this is where I am now. Or, oh yeah, when that started, and here I am at the finish line, and oh my gosh, getting to see the growth process in between. Sometimes it's just about, uh, allowing you guys to get to know me just a little bit better and my family and Mr. Joyful. Um, it's just kind of like I said, a journal entry, so to speak, to be able to go back and reflect on at a later time, or just, sharing. But again, there is a disconnect. So, with growth, we try things. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Welcome to my playground is not going away. We are keeping it, but it is going to have a little bit of a different connect to it. So on Mondays, you're going to get a beginning of the week welcome to my playground video that welcomes you to the week, encourages you to be strong throughout the week, and it's going to give you your Chase the Fun challenge. And then as the week progresses, if there's something that happens that is noteworthy of journaling, so to speak, then I'm going to do a little pop-up video. And so at the beginning of the week, it will be Welcome to My Playground. For this week, it's number 13. If anything else happens throughout the rest of the week from today, which is Thursday, actually the 28th of August, to next Monday, then I'm just going to do a little pop-up video, and it will say, Welcome to My Playground, number 13, weekly share number 1, weekly share number 2. That way, you guys are experiencing what's going on in the Joyful House in the moment. And we can handle it, we can deal with it, we can share it, we can live it in the moment. Because that's what I want. I don't want it after the fact. And again, I would love for you to share, what you're doing to chase your fun. And I will make sure that I share those out at the opening part of each new week. So if there's something you're doing right now to chase your fun, especially if you're chasing your fun and asking for help, then definitely send that in and let me share that out Monday when I start us off for the brand new week. So I appreciate your help. I couldn't do this without you. I appreciate your help not only in the form of your ideas, but I appreciate your help in the grace that you give me. And I know you guys give me a lot of grace, and I'm so grateful for that. Especially right now as I'm navigating through this whole thing with my diabetes and my sugar levels, the swelling on my body, the blisters that are popping up. I mean, I'm trying to keep a brave face, and some days I do very well with it, and other days I just need a little break, or I just need a word of encouragement. And that's really what I want Welcome to My Playground in every segment of my channel, whether it's an uploaded video, a live, the tea party, the movie nights, the Bible studies, Bible chats. I want to always be a sense of joy and encouragement. But in that process, I also realize that sometimes I need that joy to be given to me, to be put into my joy tank. And sometimes I need a word of encouragement. This week has been a rough one. Monday night, the Joy team and we finished our current Mystery Make-Along. We've been doing this for about 3, maybe 4 months. It's been our longest Mystery Make-Along to date. It is a wearable. It is a sweater. In fact, I will show you real quick. What it is. This is what we've made. and we got it done. Some of us are having to finish sewing on our sleeves and finishing the collar and the waistband. And when it came to mine, I always do whatever we're going to be doing for that night ahead of time so they can visualize and see what it should look like at the end of our time together. And so I did the sleeves in advance. Well, following this pattern, and it is a Michael's pattern, the sleeves, the body of the sweater seemed to match my body, but the sleeves do not, and they were too small. And so I had to redo my sleeves if I wanted this to be a sweater that I could actually wear when we are finished. And maybe it has something to do with my body swelling right now. I don't know. I have put on some weight with increasing from insulin once a day to 4 times a day. So there's some changes that are happening, but nonetheless, we've worked on this project for so long. I want to make sure that I can have the reward of wearing it when it's done. So I chose to take some time and recreate the sleeves for a second time. So Monday night, I had 3.5 of those sleeves done. Tuesday, I finished the sleeve and I sewed on the second one because I sewed the first one on with them in our Monday night Joy Team Live. I got it finished. I was so excited. All I had left to do was the collar and the waistband. That is the easiest part of the whole project. I was ready, and I was ready to have it done. And I went to clip my tail, my end tail. And I probably shouldn't have been working on it to begin with because I had a diabetic crash, which means my sugar went really, really low, the lowest it's ever been in my known given life. And it was right around 53. That's pretty low for me anyway. And it's low in general. And so I ended up falling asleep for 3 hours. And honestly, when I fell asleep, I didn't really have a lot of warning, but it wasn't that low. When I fell asleep, I think it was like around 88. It went that low in my sleep. So I'm grateful that it didn't go into like a diabetic coma. The point is, when I woke up and realized that I had lost 3 hours, I was so frustrated with myself because I was like, I had so much I wanted to get done. And I had all intentions of finishing that sweater Tuesday night. So when I got the second sleeve sewn on and I went to cut that yarn tail, instead of cutting the yarn tail, I accidentally cut the sweater as I was cutting it. I lost it. I emotionally lost it. There was no way I had enough in my tank to redo that sweater. To make up, what we had accomplished over the last couple months. Now, granted, we went slow. We took our time. We did it piece by piece. I didn't have enough in my joy tank to completely redo that sweater. And I sat there all day yesterday, just numb, unable to move. I mean, I literally did nothing. Like I was a deeply depressed zombie. How do I tell the Joy Team what I've done? How do I say, as your leader, as your host, I am not redoing this, and I am not going to have one at the end? Well, I'm not a quitter, and I'm not one who easily gets defeated. I get discouraged, but not defeated. And if that wasn't enough, then I started thinking about, you know what? I just need to quit my channel. I just so need to quit my channel. I didn't want to talk to anybody, and I didn't. The first person I talked to yesterday was Todd on his way home from work, on his way to Walmart to go pick up some things to take to his mom and visit with her, and then go get our dinner and come home. And I cried and I bawled. And he just listened. Because he knows me. He knows that I just needed to get it out. He knew that I just wasn't in a good headspace. And then he knew exactly what I needed to hear. He was like, Cynthia, get the devil off your playground. And I just sat there. So I hung up with him and I decided to go take a bath, soak in some Epsom salt, and just really relax and just let all that stress go. And while I was at it, kicked the devil off my playground. Talked to my mom. She gave me words of encouragement. And she was like, look, I know how much you enjoy that channel. I know how much you enjoy every aspect of what you do. You're just having a bad day. No, I'm having a bad week, but okay. I sat down and started looking at my sweater and luckily found out that it was not the body of the sweater that I had cut. It was a sleeve. So that's better than the body. The whole thing doesn't have to be redone. But for crying out loud, a 5th sleeve? Really? I sat here at this very desk a long time last night. Found myself playing the little yarn frogging game. Started scrolling through Facebook. Todd would walk by and say, you okay? Yeah, I'm just trying to get motivated to make that sleeve. He let me be. Came back by a little bit later. You okay? Yeah, I'm just trying to get started. He came in. He picked up the hook, literally put it in my hand, and he says, just start. I'm like, you don't understand. I'm out of that color. I'm like, I've got to sit here and frog one of these sleeves. So that's exactly what I did. I frogged it. And eventually, I picked up my hook and I began making the 5th sleeve. So I'm on my way. But sometimes we just need to ask for help. He helped me frog it. He helped me put the hook back in my hand. YouTube sent me an email yesterday, and I don't know if they really just pick a handful of people or if they say that just to make us feel good and to motivate us. But I got this email again from YouTube, and it says, hey, we're picking a small group of people and sharing this with them. And so they gave me some stats, not on like my monthly glance at a view, but at my entire time as being a part of their partner program. And they told me like how many views I've had and how many hours and da-da-da-da since it began. And then they're like, hey, we picked one of your videos to show in this whatever. But the bottom line is they thanked me for my hard work. They thanked me and reminded me that part of making YouTube what it is and making YouTube strong is a culmination of all of their content creators who are working and striving to put content out on the channel for people to watch. But it's not just our content creators. It is anyone who has a YouTube channel who is watching and building up the algorithms and the hours and the views of each content creator that makes YouTube such a dynamic platform. So if that wasn't motivation enough, I had one of my Joy Team members send me an email, and I don't know if I have permission to share who they are, so I'll just refer to them as a Joy Team member for now. But they said, hey, I'm a little frustrated with this sweater. What? I know, me too. I was like, oh no. And she said, the sleeves are too small. I did the pattern as it called, and the sleeves aren't the greatest fit. And then neither is the collar. It's too big. But I'm thinking about doing this to the collar, and I'm thinking about doing this to the waistband. And I was like, she's got that go-getter grit that Annie was talking about in Chasing Your Fun. And maybe she just didn't need help, but she needed me to know that I'm a little frustrated. So I told her, I hear you, and I feel what you're going through. So in the email, I shared to her what was going on with me and told her, because in that moment that we were discussing this and sending these emails back and forth, I wasn't in a good place. And the devil was telling me, just quit your YouTube channel. Make it all about you. Then you can crochet whenever you want, do what you want, and you don't need to follow up with this, that, or blah, 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 blah. Just let it all go. Well, he would like that, wouldn't he? Because he knows that it not only brings me joy, but it bonds us and hopefully brings you joy. And the devil is about anything and everything that joy is not. So, of course, he wouldn't want me to continue my channel. This person responded, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that happened. And then I don't know if they could just feel through my words the heaviness that I was feeling, the discouragement that I was feeling, the level of weight and depression that I was feeling. But for whatever reason, they emailed me again before I had a chance to respond and said, I just need you to know that right now, your channel is the only channel that I'm really making the time and effort to follow. And that is exactly what I needed. That was the help that I needed to kick the bully off my playground, get my stuff together, and with the help of my friend and my husband, my partner in life, my ride or die, putting the hook back in my hand and reminding me about why I'm on this journey. And with YouTube and this Joy Team member also reminding me why I'm here, I was able to get started. I'm going to finish this sleeve and I'm going to finish this sweater. So I hope that you will continue to ride this adventure with me in the Joyful House, no matter what it looks like from week to week. I realize now that maybe I should have taken some time off from the channel. I mean, it was summertime. Isn't that a time of break? Isn't that a time to just be free for a little bit from the norm? And I didn't do that. In fact, no, I dug my heels in even harder and just kept plunging away. Well, next week, I am taking a week off. We are going to the cabin, and I'm so excited about that time of rest and relaxation, that chance to just be free and off of a time clock for not only myself, but for Todd, and just enjoy one another's company, enjoy what makes us happy individually and as a couple as we celebrate our 20th wedding anniversary. And then I am thinking about the last week in September, taking it off and focusing on nothing but the Stranger Things blanket. I am so ready to get several of these whips that have been on my hooks for quite some time in the finished object pile and move forward. So this is not defeat. This is moving forward in a productive and a resilient way This is moving forward and adapting to a change that really needs to happen so we can stay connected in the moment. And this has gone a lot longer than I expected it to. But I have no doubt that there's somebody out there sitting on the other side of this camera that needed to hear this just as much as I needed it. I'm only as strong as my core group, and you are my core group. And together, when I am weak, you are there. And when you need help, I am here. So, join me this week as we finish out what's left of it, chasing our fun and learning to ask for help, however that may look. Now, some weeks going forward, we might just get the introduction video to Welcome to My Playground. And maybe there'll be some weeks there might be 1, 2, 3, maybe even 5 little update shares. But either way, I am excited about the way Welcome to My Playground is going to look going forward. I love the idea that we are going to be connected in the moments. We're going to be chasing the same fun in the moment. And I couldn't have gotten here without your help. I wouldn't have been able to probably convince myself, because honestly, from week 2, I've been feeling this struggle of feeling disconnected with the playgrounds. I'm getting a lot of positive feedback, but I was also feeling that disconnect, and I'm so grateful to those of you, and you know who you are. Pat yourself on the back for being willing to be a little bit vulnerable and say, Cynthia, this is a great segment. I am enjoying it. I'm loving watching you and Todd, chase your fun and share it with us. I'm loving to get to see your family more, your parents, and et cetera, but I feel disconnected. I feel like I'm kind of coming to the party late, or I'm hearing about the party after it's over with. And I'm like, yes, you're right. Thank you for that help. Thank you for that encouragement to be bold enough to make a change that needed to be made. So, I challenge you, chase your fun. Try asking for help. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Going forward, our little Welcome to My Playground intro of the week will not be this long, but thank you for being here with me today, and thank you for your part in helping me, even if it is just listening to this video today, even if it's being a part of leaving a comment or a joy thumb or whatever with all the ones to come. I appreciate your help, and I thank you for being here, and I thank you for being my friend, and I thank you for loving me even when I'm not in my best moments, and for loving me through the growing pains of figuring out where we all need to be. I love you. Be joyful, stay crafty in your own way, make your own joyful creations, and be the joy in everything you do. That is exactly what I'm trying to do. And when I find myself feeling like my joy tank is literally empty, I'm so glad that I can always come to you guys and you will help me refill my joy tank. May I be that joy filler for you. All right, enjoy the rest of your week, and hopefully I'll see you later tonight at the tea party. All right, bye. Nugs and joy.